Alright, Domo, quit slacking off. We got work to do. You know, if X-Men Gold didn't come out every 2 weeks, I wouldn't have to squash these reviews back to back. But, all things considered, I know for a fact I wouldn't be paying for this title. Till Death Do Us Part. They're kind of dragging out the whole marriage thing. The weird part is that the Get Married book doesn't happen for, where are we here? May 2? 2 more weeks. We got a wedding special. Keep that fact in mind. The cover is not bad painted. Kitty is almost as thick as Pete. The patented Marvel fridge body uniboob is kind of getting on my nerves. We get this nice Deerfield, Illinois, years ago. That's not even anywhere near far enough. Years ago. Years. 1980. That's as years ago if you're a dog. Somehow, they're redrawing a bunch of stuff from the first time Pete met Kitty. And, gotta hand it, dude put a bit of work into the proper copying. Got our perspectives off here, and that's okay. We kind of had a huge loss of detail between point A and point B. I'm really not sure about the perspective going on here, because this, I know, like, we're up high, right? So we should be looking down. Granted, the perspective is even more off kilter here. I think this is Dick Cockrum. However, we have the 80s haircut here, and the 2018 haircut here, and you can kind of notice, right? So she's got that weird kind of thing going on there, and then she doesn't. There, don't. If you're gonna try to copy history, at least commit to the bit. I know, 1980 was like 1 billion years ago, and the sliding time scale means that nothing can ever be anchored to one point in time. So why should she have hair that's a remnant of the 70s? Let's go with it. Meanwhile, they're still talking about what happened last issue, and they're... Feels like I put that ring on you a lifetime ago. Yeah, we've been dragging our feet a little. No, Mark Gugg's been dragging his feet a lot. This whole thing could have been... doesn't have as many issues, but don't worry about that. They're off looking for Mysterio again. They're in, I can't remember where. He's kind of disguised himself. Here's the weird part. Rachel's powers have been getting stronger, but Mysterio is still able to do that to her. You can't simultaneously have one character get significantly stronger and then the weaker character pwn them every time. And a quick bit of bat around, up and pow and down. And Thor is still wearing this ridiculous get. Storm is still wearing this ridiculous... Domo, you're doing bad things to me. Still wearing this ridiculous getup. I'm guessing because Gug is still mad that, Jane Foster isn't Thor anymore. Not that Marvel is sure that Jane Foster is Thor anymore. We're getting some flashbacks. I'm assuming that's from Days of Future Past, but they were all wearing the M suits, not the regular costumes as I recall. And I don't know. We got some other characters here in the background, but that's probably supposed to be Kitty and Peter. Kitty got away from you. But don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. There's just a little bit of nostalgia here. They're going to put Mesmero over here in the same prison. And what do we get? Try not to let him escape. You could say the same as yours. The charges were dropped, not the charges of being mutants. Your very existence is a crime. No, it's not. But they're going to go off on how refreshing it is to meet an honest bigot. It's not bigotry, it's survival. Right. Because somehow we've regressed to the 80s again. We're not in present day where, you know, mutants get to do things like be on TV or be rock stars or be generally accepted in a lot of parts of society. No. We still have this going on. Of course, he's got the, you know, the proper color. Yeah, look at that. Just evil, just like me. What's Your Name has a base in, of course, the Savage Land, because when you have no imagination, play with the Savage Land. This is also why so much of other books happen in the Savage Land, because you can get away with whatever you want there. And her Sentinel friend, who understand humanity's fighting a war against its own extinction. And some words and words, they couldn't write the checks fast enough. So obviously being bankrolled by somebody, probably even more evil bad guys. Kitty's trying to ream out Bobby. I'll let you take that joke wherever you want. About getting the not pyro on the team. His terrible outing last time. Wouldn't be the first Brotherhood alum we've had on the team. Of course, they go with Rogue. Because, well, you can't really get... was Sabretooth a member of the Brotherhood? New Mutants? He may have been at least once, but I can't remember now. I'm sure there's been more than one member, but they're going to go with Rogue because she's the most obvious one, right? This whole thing, this could have been one panel. One panel about yay big with a bit of dialogue and then move on. No, we're writing for the trades. PD's off beating something up in the Danger's room. We've set a wedding date. It's wonderful. This calls for a celebration. Bachelor party in Las Vegas. Yeah, but let's cut back because we almost had fun there. We almost got to see PD having fun. Can't have that. This is Kitty Pryde's book. She wants her mom to walk her down the aisle. I'm fine with that. The language bit, I think we can jettison the traditional gender roles. That didn't really need to be there. But I'm still okay. I'm still okay with that. Meanwhile, so we went from, a couple issues ago, the most G-rated of women's prisons ever, and we're now on the most G-rated bachelor party you'll ever see. We got Not Pyro, Bobby, Pete, Kurt, and Gambit. Stuff's going on. You notice what you don't see at this bachelor party? What you don't see. You don't see PD doing body shots off of some half-naked chick. No one's wagging a butt around. No, there's no titties in the face, nothing. It's almost as though they're still trying to complain that comic books are for kids. Meanwhile, we just had this nonsense about gender roles. Yeah, go figure. We'll be doing this for you one day, Remy. You can handle my bachelor party. Now that I believe. I'm pretty sure that if Gambit wanted to throw a party, that would be completely off the hook. Whoops, hang on. I forgot something. Don't remind me are you old enough to be in the casino? Implying that Not Pyro is too young to be here at a party. Don't remind me of the casino. The casino, which was in the wedding special, which isn't for 2 more weeks. Who's in charge of planning this nonsense? Seriously. Pete gets all PO'd and wanders off the bathroom. There's still, there's nobody. Look at this. So they're sitting in a corner, just doing nothing at a bachelor party. There's no way in hell any establishment in Vegas would let this fly. At all. No, wind's coming up outside. And of course, who shows up? The evil bad guy Sentinel. And it just schools Petey, drags him away. Because our resident tough guy needs to be the damsel in distress? Are you shitting me? Oh. To be continued. You could have done 2 issues in one, but we'll get to that in the next issue. And issue 27 starts out, and we have our damsel in distress right there. Nope, not Kitty, I'm talking about Peter. What's wrong with this picture? We cut back to another old school panel. Years ago, because 1980 was a billion years ago in dog years. The reason they kind of skirt around this is that Kitty's 14 and Petey's 19. She's like got a crush on the guy. And oh man, you read something like CBR and they lose their shit over this. Here's our original panel, right? She snuck over like that. I meant to cut these two together, but yeah, have a couple. You won't mind. The pose is not quite perfect. It is not quite perfect. It's close enough, right? Ta-da! The weird part is this panel takes place here. There's the banister for the stairway. There's no banister there. So I don't know if he intentionally cleaned it up or just wasn't interested in paying enough attention to it. Like, I don't get it. Like, you did good commit to it. Do the thing. Do the thing. Anyway, back, the rest of the party is proceeding to bail from the worst bachelor party ever. Petey's been kidnapped. They're still talking about this stupid hammer. This is more of the nostalgia, because, you know, Gug wrote this into Mojo Worldwide, so we need to see it again and again and again, because you'll forget unless you... whatever. They figured out where Petey is. Skipped a couple pages. They're tracking him. Rachel is tracking the Sentinel by his psychic resonance. It's a robot. Don't really got no psychic resonance. Now, granted, okay, we're talking about the nostalgia thing. Master Mold and Nimrod fused into a bigger version of Master Mold in whatever issue Rogue got sucked into the Siege Perilous, and I'm really dating myself here. And felt a rudimentary consciousness, right? So he's evolved, because he's got ascensions now. You can read his mind this far out, so yeah, her powers are still getting big. You kind of got to put a limit on these things, right? Like, again, so she read this far out and still got pwned by Mesmero. Go figure. You ready for more nostalgia? Mr. Rasputin is a biological marvel. Within his blood courses history, remnants of legacy and foundations for hope. Dr. Rao used traces of the legacy virus. Can you have any original ideas, Gug? Do you have any original ideas at all? Ever? Yep. I was killing mutants. Here's a slight problem. Like, almost everyone's got the X gene. To some extent, latent or not. Her dad was a mutant. Probably going to kill her too. Winning. Yep, see, Dad was a mutant. That means you're a latent mutant, and this will kill you. Nope, we need to be evil, bigot, bad guy, blah, blah, blah. You're the monster. You're blah, 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 blah. So, they're still in Vegas trying to figure out what's going on. When I heard Kurt was taking Peter to Vegas for a bachelor party, my mind ran a number of scenarios. Yeah, he might have fun. A lot of fun. A whole bunch of fun. And this is Pete we're talking about. Okay? Granted, yeah. Okay, he's a farm boy. They might get him hammered and he'll come home with something that will require, a round of pills and a rough talking to by his doctor. But it's Pete we're talking about. Right? It's like, you can run your scenarios. But it's Pete. If anyone knows Pete, you know Pete. You're planning your bachelorette party, which will probably be the most third most G-rated thing in this series, right? Got a whole bunch of second guesses, blah blah. Rachel's got a location on Peter in the Savage location from 3/4 of a planet away. Think about that for a minute. 3/4. Okay, what was like even Professor X needed Cerebro to pick stuff up that far away. You're losing track of the plot here, right? Why do you have us land here a mile from Peter's location? I don't feel like we're signaling our arrival. Like they didn't see that coming! No, we spent all this money on installation, we couldn't bother to buy radar. Storm's still cosplaying as Thor. I don't know why. You're actually taking away from Storm's character doing this to her. Okay? Storm is a well-developed and strong character, and you are not helping this. We get a really awesome panel. Check out, like, for all my complaining, right? That is an awesome panel. It's a great. That's a great Nightcrawler pose, right? The forced perspective, everything. That's beautiful. Unfortunately, most of the rest of the book isn't still. He's busy trying to talk the Sentinel out of what's going on. I have self-sentence given away to expression and blah blah blah. So she tries to double talk him into, well, if you're not a slave to original programming, why not carry it out? You're trying to sow doubt, blah blah blah. I fancy myself a mutant. I've evolved. And once it's over and all those in the next gene are eradicated, I'll self-terminate. No, you won't. We know you won't, because you're a bad guy. You don't do that. Okay? Master Mold did that, because Master Mold was a bit of a dunderhead. You're obviously smarter than that. We know that won't happen, because Gug is going to need you 20-some issues from now to pull a plot out of his ass, so people, the bosses won't think he's completely out of ideas. They get in, not Pyro. Not Pyro has a slight problem. Okay, we went from that Nightcrawler panel to Not Pyro. Look at Not Pyro's chest. Look at, like, I get he's probably wearing a backpack or something, but he's like 5 miles wide here, and then he's not 5 miles wide here. Like, pick one. Oh yeah, and by the way, Mr. Nanotech Sentinel has made $1 billion of himself. This is how you know that, okay, the main one will self-terminate and one of these will go away. Because in issue 52, we'll need a recycled bad guy. If anything, that's how this all happens. They finally confront Miss What's-Her-Name. Kitty gets to show some emotion. I'm not sure what's going on here, because that facial structure is not that facial structure. This looks like a mad ball. And then down here, we have 3 different looks. This probably would have come off better as one of Cockrum's expressions, with the classic shading and stuff. Would have looked a lot better. Just saying. They're going to stop her from Kitty from beating up an old lady. Okay, kudos to them. But she's not having any of this. And Mr. Sentinel comes out and knocks her around, because we need to drag this out for another issue. Oh, and by the way, there is an earthquake? No, it's a launch sequence. This guy seems like, why would you give that away? Why would you give that away? Unless he didn't know about it, which I highly doubt. Because, oh, I built $1 million of myself and scoped out the whole place. I'm surprised. Yep. We're going to the moon or something. And I don't know how any of them would know Pete's on that thing. There's no way for her to know that Pete's on there. Not that was revealed back here anywhere. To buy time? Blah, blah. Like, just nothing that's showing you that Pete's on here. We've decompressed everything so much, but we're still leading up plot elements. Oy. To be continued. And maybe, like, maybe somewhere along the line someone will realize Mike Gug doesn't know what he's doing. Mark Gug. Anyway, speaking of not knowing what you're doing, I am kind of hammered, and I think I might be going to watch Avengers for the second time in a week, depending on what this text message says. Yeah, looks like it. So, while I'm off doing that, I'm going to really enjoy it this time. I will see you guys in the future.